Hello, everybody. My name is Kit the Sune, and I am super tired and disappointed. I am tired because it's 4 in the morning when I'm recording this, and I'm disappointed because we are talking about one of my former favorite YouTubers. Today, we are talking about Shannon, aka Creepshow Art. I just wanted to give my perspective as an ex fan that watched all this happen. I don't know if my perspective is that unique. I haven't seen a ton of former fans reacting to the controversy. I'm not someone that Creepshow Art targeted to harass, nor am I someone that she manipulated one-on-one, like in the DMs, the way she did with Ready to Glare, to Mimi, Loey Lane, my bad, Repzilla, anyone like that. I'm not someone like that. I'm literally just a fan that's been here, that had been supporting her since before she hit 100K, and stopped supporting her when all of this information came out, because I don't know how you could continue to support someone after information like this comes out. I don't know how you can continue to be a fan and support someone after something like that's come out, but yeah, so I'm an ex-fan. I wanted to talk about this just because I like to talk about things. I'm overly opinionated. It's just the thing I do. And I figured I would do this here. Maybe if you are an ex-fan of Creepshow Art, we can have some solidarity in the comments section. Just kind of vibe, Tell me if you want me to talk about anything else. I'll talk about anything, honestly. So I want to go kind of chronologically and talk about how I discovered Shannon, and then move on to some of my pre-controversy critiques about her, and then move into the actual current controversies that nuked her YouTube career from orbit, and just go from there, really. So I found her during the Jessica Yanev controversy. I believe that was in May of 2018. She made a video that I thought covered the situation really well. You don't see a ton of cisgender individuals that can talk about a situation like that, either without sort of treading super lightly in hopes of not coming across as or being accused of being transphobic, or the complete opposite end where they are just transphobic and they don't care, and they make the whole situation into a transgender problem. I believe one of the things Creepshow Art said in her video that I really appreciated was, this is not a problem with the transgender community. This is a problem with Jessica Yanev themselves, and it should not reflect on the trans community. And so I really appreciated that. And when I find a creator I like, I tend to just steamroll through their entire back catalog and watch all of their videos and subscribe. So when I did that, I really liked watching Creepshow Art, or Shannon. I really liked her art style. I liked the topics she'd cover. I personally liked how she would go off topic, because that's just how I am. I have ADHD, I ramble, and so I saw a bit of myself in that, and I enjoyed it. I also enjoyed, this might sound weird, she had a very good voice in her videos. Like, the cadence and the pitch was very good. I can't watch people if I find their voice a little bit jarring. Like, the way some people talk, the way some people's voices sound actually hurts my ears. So I just enjoyed her voice. Sue me if that's weird. So I was around pre 100K. And obviously I was still around up to when she hit 500K. She did her 500K merch store sale, and I bought some stuff. I swear I'm cursed, which is a story for another day, which when it comes to me buying creators merchandise. But I bought 2 hoodies and a sticker, and the sticker's on my laptop, so I either need to cover that up or hope no one at my university knows who Creepshow Art is when we go back to school after the Backstreet Boys reunion tour is fully concluded. And then I was in her Discord server while that was a thing, but we never really had any conversations. We did play Among Us together a couple of times, and that resulted in a little bit of dialogue between us, but nothing, like, obviously nothing friendship forming, nothing that really led her to manipulating me hardcore, other than the way she manipulated all of us who just watched her content and made us think, oh, she's a good person. So nothing more insidious or involved than that, really. So real quick, before I jump into the timeline of recent events, I wanted to share my critiques that I had of her while I was a fan of hers. I did find the love bombing and the self-deprecation very odd. I didn't full on think it was coming out of malice or anything like that. I genuinely thought Shannon was just someone who struggled with self-worth, and that was how she expressed it. I was bothered by it. However, I did enjoy the creators she would recommend. I do follow Tamimi, Ready to Glare, Omnia. I follow Thuman, obviously. Love Thuman. Go check all of them out if you have not. This is coming from someone who has nothing to gain by saying to go check them out, because I am tiny compared to them. Like, this is my first video, whatever. Just go check them out. Honestly, thank me later. I also found she had a lot of inconsistent views when you'd have to watch like multiple videos in order to clock these, which I did. So she would alternate between, the best example I can think of this is in multiple videos, you can see her alternating between referring to someone who is 19. She refers to them as a child. She did this in one of her videos covering I believe this is considered the second Drum Again, and the stuff with James Charles, Tati Westbrook, Jeffree Star, and Shane Dawson. She covered that, and she refers to James Charles as a child. This is after James Charles did that 180 and everyone thought he was cool up until recently. That maintained, obviously. So she refers to him as a child, which, you know, fair enough. I don't think he deserved to be bullied by the internet. I think he deserves to be in prison now, but at the time, I didn't think he deserved the harassment he received that was put on by his former friends. And I agreed with her overall point. However, she also goes on in other videos to say that when you're 19, you're an adult, which is what I agree with. You are an adult. You're responsible for your actions. Whether or not you're cyber bullied is regardless of the point. You don't have to be a child for it to be bad. You don't have to be an adult for you to be held accountable for your actions. So that's just the biggest example and easiest example I could think of, but she would have some inconsistencies in her opinions throughout multiple videos. Then again, she made a lot of videos. I'm sure you can have inconsistent views when you cover so many things, but those were just my pre-controversy critiques. I was not a complete ride or die. I definitely saw fault in her while I was a fan. All of this to just say that I did not think she was the perfect creator or anything like that. Just that as a fan, I was still critical of her at times. However, I did not see any of this coming. The Lil Cow and Emily Artful controversies, of course. So I do want to dive into those. If you are unaware or you haven't heard all of it, I'll give a bit of a summary and then just share my thoughts on each of the situations. So for the Lil Cow controversies, this is what came out first. What I first found was Shannon's post on her community tab. If that's still up, I'll put it here. Basically saying that she has a stalker who she titles Amy. Remember this? We're gonna Amy, quote unquote, is going to come up a lot throughout this video. Amy has been posting about her and her friends under the premise of Amy being Shannon, and trashing her friends, doing things like that, doxing a family member. Just all around not a good time if that was what was actually happening. So when I saw this, I believed that what Shannon was saying was true because I was not, and I still am not totally familiar with how lolcow works. I am only really aware of lolcow in that I believe they are involved, or they used to be involved in the Chris Chan stuff. I don't know if they still are. Now, obviously, that's like a section of lolcow. I believe lolcow is similar to Reddit and 4chan in that they have like different subsects where everyone just kind of does their own thing, talks about what they're interested in. The other thing about lolcow that I understand is that you are mostly anonymous with only an ID that the admins can see that is basically traced through your IP and your browser cookies, which is also important for later. So if you want like a full lowdown on why this excuse or story that Shannon came up with doesn't work, or if you want a full lowdown on the almost 300 posts Shannon made, I highly recommend checking out Omnia and Kai Weiss, I believe. Forgive me if I pronounced your last name wrong, Kai. Totally not intentional. They did a fantastic job, the two of them. Omnia has several videos going over this entire situation. Omnia is also someone Shannon has shouted out before, ironically, for criticism Omnia made about Shannon during one of her previous less severe controversies. However, Omnia is great. Check her out. Check out these videos if you want a more holistic overview of what's going on, what has been going on, because I do not have the energy to go over almost 300 posts. Maybe one day I will. If I'm really bored, I will go over all of them, but probably not. Don't get your hopes up. I just want to go over the few categories I noticed and then just share my thoughts on each of them. So she did make a lot of posts about other creators, and these were creators she was actively friends with while making those posts. She's been talking to Ready to Glare for a long time, like since before I subscribed to her, and making fan art of Julia, collaborating with Julia, shouting out Julia's collaborations with companies, just shouting out Julia in general, even if the video she's talking about has nothing to do with Julia. She's made videos supporting Julia when Julia's gone through, I wouldn't say they're controversies. She was, I believe, served legal paperwork from a family vlogging channel just because she talked about the neglectful situation the kids were being subjected to. And Shannon made a response video like calling for support for Julia. So just playing the role of a very good friend very well. Honestly, I would do those things for a friend if I noticed that they were either going through a hard time or if they were having success in their lives. I like those things are what you would do if you're a good friend. What you would not do is go on lolcow and just say terrible things about your friend. There's one post that she made that so here's the way I read it. I may be reading this wrong. Let me know if you think I'm reading this wrong. She makes this post saying that Julia, aka Ready to Glare, is the Blair White of saying women are predators too, and I don't fully understand what that means. Blair White is a person that she is transgender, and obviously that is respected, but she makes a lot of videos pointing at trans people and saying, oh, this trans person is weird, basically tearing down the community in order for her to look better in the eyes of the more not accepting communities that exist. And so the way I'm reading this is she is saying Julia is saying women can be predators in order to defend or basically try to, she's saying that Julia is the thing she is critiquing basically, by comparing her to Blair White, someone who is transgender and calls attention to or mocks other trans people. She's saying that Julia is doing the same thing, and the way I see it is her alleging Julia to be a predator. Now, I do not believe that. I think Julia is a fantastic person who is doing a lot of good with her YouTube channel. However, that is the way I read it, and I think that's disgusting if you would say that about a friend, even if it is quote-unquote anonymously and behind their back. That's still disgusting. Whether or not they can trace it back to you, you should not be saying those things about a friend. Now, I could totally be misreading that post. I could not be understanding it properly. Still, not okay to say. All of these things she's saying about other creators are not okay. And these are creators she's friends with, like Ready to Glare, Tamimi, Lily Lane. I believe she was making posts while she was still friends with Hopeless Peaches. And that whole thing is a whole nother nightmare that I don't want to talk about. But still, you shouldn't talk this poorly about friends. You just shouldn't talk poorly about your friends. You can speak poorly about ex-friends. I totally understand if a relationship ends badly, but come on, man. All of this is just bad. I don't like it. It's nothing super, okay, you're a bad friend. It's a terrible thing to do. I totally understand if your friends don't talk to you after it, but it's not illegal. It's just kind of toxic. You know what I'm saying? And this is just for the stuff about the other creators. Like, you're going to lose friends. People are going to lose respect for you, but it's not, it's not as bad as the stuff we'll talk about later. However, she also makes a lot of posts using slurs, and there are slurs referring to people with disabilities, like the R slur. She uses autism as an insult. It's not an autism. It's just the way your brain is wired. It's not anything bad. You shouldn't use it like a slur. It's literally just a mental condition, and it has no bearing on whether someone is good or bad. People are people regardless of whether or not they have autism or Asperger's or whatever. That does not matter. You shouldn't say things like that. She's also used homophobic and transphobic slurs. I personally laughed when I saw one of these. She refers to trans men as fake boys in one of these posts from earlier this year. If I can put up the screenshot, I will. I gotta find it because this post just makes me laugh. It's just such a ridiculous okay, if you can't tell by my super sensual baritone voice, I personally am a trans man, so just being referred to as a fake boy would make me laugh. I was never referred to a fake boy in high school when I came out, so I'm used to the T slur and the F slur, whatever. Still not fun, but I'm sorry if someone just called me a fake boy, I'd have to laugh. Okay, Shannon, this is some elementary school grade insults, and you don't have the guts to just say them in public. You got to use it behind the supposed screen of anonymity. And then after this controversy comes out, you come out with a video discussing the history of Pride, and basically you don't respect trans people enough to just call them trans people. You got to call them fake boys and the T slur or the F slur, whatever. But you want to use their hard work, the work of Marsha P. Johnson, a fantastic woman. You want to use her hard work and the work of other gay and trans people that have fought and died and been brutalized in order to further our rights in America and other countries. You want to use their hard work for money and monetization and AdSense. Okay, you suck. That's what that tells me. You don't actually care about people. You are just performative because it can make you money. And that's disgusting. But it just gets so much worse. It just gets so much worse. Oh my God, it just gets so much worse. All right, we got to take a little bit of a detour before we can get to the super bad stuff. this stuff's just weird. She does a lot of posts talking about herself, which does violate local's rules. Local does have some rules. Like, you can't self-promote. Makes sense. You're just like, I don't really know the purpose of lolcow, but that makes sense. If you're going to be there anonymously, you shouldn't be self-promoting under the guise of being someone who is not you. That just makes sense, personally. But she would do that. She would also post about herself negatively, like basically saying like, oh, Shannon's bad at art, or Shannon's stupid, or whatever. Like, that's just weird. She'd also do posts arguing with herself, both arguing that Creepshow art, or like Shannon, the creator, is a good creator, but also that she as a creator is bad. It's very weird, and I get why it's against the rules. It's just weird. Like, I really don't have much of an opinion about it, about that particular genre of posts that she made. Other than that, it's just weird. Like, yeah, okay, you're breaking a site rule, but like, if it wasn't against the rule, it would just be weird. You know what I'm saying? So the last post, the post that I care the most about personally, because this is actually something illegal, and this is actually what made the admins on lolcow go, okay, we're just going to take away your anonymity, which is something they disclose on their rules. If you break these rules, they will take away your anonymity and basically say, hey, this is the person doing it, which they did, and rightfully so. I do think this was a deserved judgment on their call, and I'm glad they came forward with this, because this stuff is not okay. Shannon doxed her sibling, and I do mean sibling. The sibling is non-binary. Please respect that in the comments. If you don't, I will delete your comment, because Shannon may not care enough to actually use the proper pronouns for their sibling, but I care, because, you know, we got to respect people's pronouns. Doesn't matter if you like them or not. So that's the rule here. Respect the pronouns in the comments. Just chill. So Shannon doxed her sibling. Her sibling, I believe she posted her sibling's Twitter account. I believe that is the only information Shannon gave out. Still, that's not okay. Shannon, you are fully aware that the people on this website can be just as, if not more, vicious than you towards people if they really want to like get a rise or just do that for fun. So knowingly subjecting your sibling, I don't care what your relationship is with your family. You could have like the most toxic family since the Jackson 5, whatever. I really don't care. You just don't do that. You don't do that to people. If you have issues with your family, just don't talk to them. Just do what I do and don't use Facebook. Like, that's it. Like, okay, man, I get it. You don't get along with your siblings. You don't get along with your family, whatever, man. Why do you gotta dox their Twitter account? Like, that's just not cool. So I totally get why lolcow responded by revoking Shannon's anonymity. That's not okay. I just, frankly, my only reaction after this is just, I would love to see the next family gathering, just see how all of that goes down. I will admit, this is my problematic personality trait. I'm a little bit interested in like tea and stuff like that. I love seeing family drama, except I refuse to watch reality TV, which would honestly just sate my desires, but whatever. I have my own stories about my family, so, you know, it's whatever. But like, just don't dox your sibling, man. That like, maybe I'll put a little counter on how many times I say don't dox your sibling, because I guarantee I'm not done for the rest of this video. So that was the lolcow situation. Like I said, if you want a more holistic overview of the situation, Shannon's response, like Shannon's excuse, really, not really a response, just her excuse of why these posts exist, the content of these posts. If you want stuff like that, go check out the Omnia and Kai West videos. I will leave the links in the description. Obviously, I'm an English major. I cite my sources. They will not be in MLA because I can't be bothered, but hopefully you'll be more lenient than my professors. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is the Emily Artful allegations. I do say allegations for legal purposes. However, I will say I do believe Emily Artful. If you do not fully know what I am talking about, Emily Artful made an over 2 hour long video discussing the numerous allegations that she has for Shannon and Shannon's husband, who is also Emily Artful's ex-boyfriend, Anthony Parker, I believe his name is. So that video will be linked down below. Please do go check it out. I do not want to take Emily's story away from her. I will be paraphrasing briefly just for the sake of this video. However, it is her story to tell. I do not want to take that away from her. So please do go check it out. This woman has been through a lot. I will say that. If this was just the lolcow stuff, Shannon could come back. Shannon can't come back from this. The allegations in here are honestly horrifying to me, given the topics Shannon covered on her YouTube channel. I'm both horrified and disgusted, honestly. And let me just get into that. So, Emily Artful, when the lolcow allegations came out and people were responding to this, and lolcow was saying, hey, like the admin team was basically saying, hey, yeah, it is Shannon's IP address, and it's multiple IP addresses and device addresses that link back to Shannon. We also have more personal information that we can guarantee is Shannon's, but we are not releasing publicly, which, you know, fair enough. Totally respect that. Even if someone's in the wrong, they don't deserve to be doxxed, but I'm sure they could do it if they really wanted to. But yeah, no, just good on the lolcow admin team for how they handled the situation. Totally fair. Emily Artful came out on Twitter basically saying Creepshow Art's always been like this, and she was going to make a video discussing the harassment that she has been receiving at the hands of both Shannon and Anthony. So a few days passed, that video came out. Honestly, congrats to her on getting that video out in record time. I've been wanting to make this video for like a few weeks, and look at how long this is going to taken to come out. So you know what? Good on her. Like, she had to go through multiple different devices to find all of the receipts or evidence. Good on her, man. Like, Emily Artful, props to you. Just great work ethic. Like, whole situation aside, just great work ethic, and the video is very well made. I'm just saying that, like, please go watch it. I do feel for her. She's made a lot of allegations in here, and even if only half of them were true, that would be way too much for any one person to deal with. Emily Artful has made the allegations that Anthony Parker has... Here's the thing about YouTube. I don't know how to say things, so forgive me if anything I say sounds like I am trivializing the allegations. I am not trying to do that. I'm just trying to make sure this video is not suppressed, because YouTube is weird. We are truly living in a cyberpunk dystopia. She has accused Anthony Parker of SA. She has accused Shannon and Anthony of getting her fired from her jobs, multiple jobs, that she has had, both through just general harassment and also through sending her employers CP that they gained through stealing a social media account from her. They've also been allegedly stalking her for over 10 years, sending her threatening text messages, harassing her on her social media accounts like her YouTube accounts, making her abandon a previous YouTube account because of all of the negativity and harassment that she was receiving, which is... None of this is okay. All of this is disgusting. I really don't understand someone who has the mindset of subjecting someone to just general negativity in general, but some of these are crimes. Some of these are actual, like, honest to God, like, you can go to jail crimes. And my personal response to just the things that Shannon did just to Emily is, Shannon, I don't think you're watching this, but if by some weird chance you are, you need to turn yourself and your husband in. These things are disgusting. If you believed even like the most minute fraction of the things you spoke about on your YouTube channel, you need to turn yourself in. No one's going to forgive you, but it at least shows that you're learning something, which I don't think you will. But if you want to prove me wrong, turn yourself in. Just do it. Even if you just do it to spite me, like, I really don't care. I'm a nobody, but if you just did it to spite me, that would lead to some good in this world, honestly. The things you've done are disgusting. I can't believe I looked up to you, and you did, and continued to do while people were supporting you. Stuff like this. The last thing I want to touch on is I mentioned Amy earlier on in this video. Shannon made the allegation that her stalker, Amy, quote unquote, was the one making those lolcow posts. Shannon also, at the start of her YouTube channel, made a video expressing that she had been stalked for over 8 years. And the details in this video correlate extremely well with Emily Artful's story and the things Emily Artful has been subjected to by Shannon and Anthony. So Shannon stole Emily Artful's story and made the things she was doing to Emily Artful. She put herself in a place of being the survivor of these horrible things that she was subjecting an innocent woman to. And I have to laugh because otherwise I'd scream. I am someone who is a survivor of neglect and abuse. And if the people that did those things to me decided to turn around and make videos or claim publicly that the things they did to me were actually things they went through, I would go feral. I would just lose my entire mind. And yeah, no. So I don't understand how Emily Artful has made it through all of this with the grace and poise that she has, because I would have just lost my entire mind. That is not, that's not a dig at Emily. Emily, I think you are very brave and very strong for not only enduring this, but also coming forward. I hope you understand through the community's response that you are supported in this situation. And I hope that if this is something you want, you are able to seek justice through the legal system if that is something you want. Obviously, no one is forcing, I hope no one is forcing her or trying to force her to seek legal action, because that is obviously her decision and her decision to make alone. However, I hope she does understand that she is supported if that is a choice she decides to make. I know I said this was the last thing, that the Shannon Amy thing was the last thing I was going to touch on. I actually wanted to touch on how we do know that this is Shannon and this is not some random person pretending to be Shannon. Emily Artful does go into some of her evidence in her video. One of those things being she manages to get either Shannon or Anthony to click on an IP tracing link. And the area that pops up is the Tahoma County Public Library. I believe this is in either Oregon or Washington. One of those northern West Coast states. I believe it's Oregon. And Shannon has publicly stated in multiple videos and interviews that this is where she resided while she was homeless. Now, that's pretty coincidental, maybe, if you want to be optimistic. I do not. I am done with the optimism for Shannon. I truly believe that Emily Artful is completely correct in pointing the finger at Shannon and Anthony. Yeah, like, I just Shannon has been saying that that is a place she resided for a very long time before this video came out, and she's said it in her videos talking about being homeless. She's mentioned it in other videos where it's become relevant. She's said it in interviews with other creators. You can find these videos on their channels. Omnia does play a clip from one of these interviews in one of her videos covering the situation. I'm not going to take the clip and put it here because honestly, just go watch their video. It's much more well made. This is just my reaction. But yeah, so that's the last thing on that, really. So now I want to move into like the community response. Where do we go from here? The one thing I did want to talk about that I thought was a little bit odd, and this is not, I want to make it very clear, this is not me defending Creepshow art at all. Creepshow art, Shannon has done too many terrible things. I would never defend someone who's done these things. However, I have been seeing a lot of videos talking about how she and Anthony did choose to be homeless and live out of their cars. And yes, I do think that is a very odd choice to make, and I do not think that that is the same as someone being forced out of their home, either due to neglect or financial poverty. I do not think that's okay. I do not think that, this is not me saying they did these things. I'm just saying if they were to do them, these would not be okay. If they were taking services specifically made for people who lost their homes due to financial loss, or if they were taking services available to those that were kicked out of their homes due to neglect or abuse, that would not be okay. However, I did see a lot of people saying that Shannon and Anthony deserved any trauma they went through while being homeless because that was a choice they made. And I do want to disagree with that respectfully. You could be the worst person on the planet. You still don't deserve trauma. You still don't deserve to be subjected to SA or SH, which is something Shannon has said she's been subject to. If she's lying about that, that's just messed up. But I would like to assume, or at least hope, that someone wouldn't lie about something like that. Then again, we're talking about Shannon here. But I am saying if the results of Shannon's homelessness that she has been open about on her channel, if those are real and those aren't lies, she doesn't deserve them regardless of whether she chose to be homeless or not. I do think that's a bit odd of the community to say. That is not me saying that the people saying this are bad. I am just saying let's not stoop to her level, because she has done bad things. I am not negating that. I think the things she's done are abhorrent. She needs to turn herself and Anthony in. I hope Emily Artful seeks legal justice, because this sort of thing is not okay, and they should not be able to subject anyone else to this sort of thing. However, I don't think we need to stoop to her level and say that the abuse she may have been on the receiving end of was justified. And yeah, I just don't think we should stoop to her level. That being said, she is a bad person. Feigning homelessness as like a cute, quirky thing is not okay. I have worked with people who have been homeless due to abuse and neglect, and it's not cute. The PTSD, the struggle just to get through day-to-day life, it's not okay. Don't romanticize it. Don't do stuff like that. That's so messed up. So obviously Shannon has faced some backlash. If you look at the post I mentioned earlier where she discusses that this is all through the hands of Amy, at first when she made this post, the reception was very positive. I'll put up a comment I left, actually, where I was very supportive of what Shannon was saying. I've not gone back and changed this comment. I have not gone back and left another comment now that I know what actually happened, because I just don't see a point in doing it. But a lot of people have, and you can see the tone very clearly change. I personally have not done it because I don't see a point. I don't think she's coming back. There's a lot of backlash. She has lost a lot of subscribers. My personal theory as to why she has not lost more is because a lot of people are waiting for, if she does come back, for a video addressing the situation. I think that if she does make one of those, the subscribers will go down after that. That's personally the only reason I am still subscribed to her. I'm just waiting to see if there is an apology video or another community post. That's literally the only reason. So yeah, that's one of the issues. She's also disabled her Instagram, or deleted her Instagram, the Google account, Gmail account associated with her YouTube channel. So she's basically gone. The only thing that hasn't been like fully deactivated that I am aware of is her YouTube channel, and I personally believe she's keeping that up only to try to maintain some sort of passive income from people watching her videos that are not aware of the controversy that she's been through. Hopefully the comment section will keep people from making that mistake, but who knows, really? I don't. So since all of this has come out and people have been responding, because it's been some time now, people are making YouTube videos, I have watched a few of her former friends' videos, specifically Ready to Glare and Tamimi. They made videos. I also watched Nbird. Nbird is her former editor. I watched his response and their responses as well. And honestly, I can just see that there's a lot of pain. That obviously when you find out your friend is this terrible person, there's a lot of pain and a lot of broken trust. And I think that within the commentary community, within the creators in this space, there's going to be a lot of trust issues going forward, because how can you come back from something like that? Ready to Glare in particular, Shannon was such a vocal friend, really, like very publicly defending or praising Ready to Glare or Julia, openly supporting her collabs, and then also just being a friend in private. From what I understand, they were probably like, from what I understand, they were the closest relationship, from what I've heard from other people talking about the situation and their responses. So I totally understand if she just doesn't befriend anyone for a while, because this is messed up. And of course, same goes for Tamimi, Repzilla, Repsion. I don't know if they were friends, but also Loey Lane, Nbird, people like that. There's a lot of broken trust. There's a lot of broken trust in this community from this whole situation with Shannon, and I don't blame people. I don't know how long it'll take the community to recover. I think we should be cautious in who we support. However, I don't really know. I don't have the solution, because Shannon, from all real outward appearances, was this very caring, very giving creator that from the outside seemed like a person who had endured a lot of pain and loss, and was responding to that pain and loss as being a very generous and very compassionate creator. I really don't know how we can avoid falling for this again. I don't have the solution. I would not be the person with the answers. I'm just a college kid that watched a lot of Creepshow art in between crying because of midterms and finals. And yeah, I don't have the solution. I'm just here to share my thoughts. I'm sad that this happened, because I'm definitely not the only person who felt this way. I saw Shannon as a comfort creator. I don't believe that I'm the kind of person that subjects myself to parasocial relationships. I know I'm not the only person who felt like this, but I genuinely felt like Shannon was a comfort creator. Watching her videos was very soothing and relaxing for me. I would watch her videos while I drew or while I knit. And I saw a lot of care and kindness in her videos, which is so weird given what we know now. But I genuinely did look up to her. She was the first inspiration I had for being like, oh, maybe I should make YouTube videos, you know? Maybe I should talk about things I'm interested in. And as you can see from the style of this video, her style did inspire me. It's literally just me talking over a speed drawing. Obviously, there are other YouTubers that did that, but Shannon was the first one I saw. And I did look up to her. I will say it. I did look up to her, and she talked about always giving like AdSense and her YouTube income to charity. Do I believe that she did that? I don't know. I want to hope she was actually giving to Thorn and other charities, but given the lolcow posts that she made talking about her income, I really don't think she was giving to charity. This whole situation's just heartbreaking. I hope we can all move on. I hope Shannon doesn't come back because she's caused enough pain in this community. However, if she does come back, I will make a video in response to whatever video or post she's made. I have heard whispers or talk about there being a podcast that she was making, obviously under an alias to try to like anonymously rebrand. I'll look into that if people are interested in hearing my opinion on it. If not, I have other videos to make. I have other things to talk about. I have a lot of stories to share and a lot of opinions to be made known to the wider world, because my roommate can only tolerate so much of me. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know below if you were a fan of Creepshow art, your response. Do you agree with me? Do you think she can come back? Do you think there would be a way for her to come back justifiably? If she comes back and this ends up being one of those like Dramageddon 2 by sister scandal U-turn like Uno reverse cards, I'm just gonna have whiplash again, because that whole situation was insane. I had to like talk to multiple friends to figure out what happened, which is a story for another day. But yeah, no, I really don't think Shannon can come back. I don't expect her to try. All of her social media and stuff is gone. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. Let me know if you agree below. Is there anything you want to see me talk about? Let me know below. I'll try to respond to as many comments as I can. But yeah, later guys.